Now you joined us just in time there, Nicky, because I was kind of hoping you were going to make it out, and then I didn't see you coming. So we're about to kick things off here for race 1 of BMW Performance Racing Series classes A, B and C. Ryan Nike, a big surprise on the front row.
Fantastic times this morning, Greg. I couldn't believe seeing the time from yesterday and how they dropped. Today, and then let's watch this start here.
So as the lights go out, we go racing down towards turn 1. Nike trying to get the drop over the rest of that pack. Watch out for Fedetto trying to get into the mix there with Class A. Looks like it might be, it's Bob Neal in second, Fedetto to third, and it's Nike who has got the whole shot. So he's managed to capitalize on that pole position and maintains the lead over Bob Neal. Now Ryan Nike, of course, has slowly but surely got to grips with the series. New man to the series, new man to racing as well. Hasn't been around for a long time in racing cars, but he's not only participating in BMW Performance Racing Series, he's in the Gazoo Racing Cup as well. So getting lots of time on track, and it's helping him slowly but surely become a good contender in both of the categories.
We got to see the car for the first time at Kailami, and everybody will probably join me in saying this is a beautiful Class A race car over here. We saw huge pressure there by Andreas, the German, putting pressure onto that Class A car from Fabio Fedetto. Where's he made up to now? Still behind him. Will he make a move into the corner coming down from that little main straight?
Well, I know that Lee Thompson's been working hard on Bob Neal's car to try. Oh, the German's off. The German is off, heading down into that very tight left-hander. I don't know if he's going to get up that banking though.
That's quite steep there.
It's quite steep, and you can see him just trying to get the power down on the rear-wheel drive car there, and
he's moving,
slipping and sliding. I was a bit worried about the splitter on the front of the car though. It's a low front end of that car, and he's very lucky to get up that little incline. It doesn't look like a huge incline, but when you've got a low car and a splitter on the front, it can catch very easily.
Did you see what happened there, Greg? Did you go down the inside there? I mean, we were talking about a move happening into that corner. I'm not sure if he went through the inside, and tyres are still cold, brakes not warmed up yet, and maybe just overcooked it.
A little bit too hard on the outbraking manoeuvre attempted there, but needless to say, this will leave Nick Macris at the front end of Class B. Not a bad start there from our Greek friend. He's had a fantastic season so far, had a really good run at Kailami. Look where the Germans ended up. He's ended up almost at the back of the pack of all the Class C competitors as well.
That's our championship leader there, Greg, so this is going to be welcome news to next, specifically Class B, but I'm certainly not going to be unhappy with that result, trying to chase for the Class Honours as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to certainly help out your aspirations of getting to the front end overall by the end of the season. Little fights happening in the Class C now, as you can see, slowly but surely being closed in there. 48 car also becoming part and parcel of that. Renier Smith in there too, but I think Macris has got a little bit of work to do there, possibly to maybe just close things down and find a way past. Benny late at this stage.
Nick is struggling there, so that's the Class C pack putting a huge amount of pressure there. I see there's that Neil Reynolds car, that stricken E36 out there.
And the one thing I mentioned just before you got here was I was chatting about the fact that I didn't see him on the qualifying list that I got. So he must have had a problem. They tried to sort it out, get the Valve Hospital car back on track, and it didn't work. And he's parked on the sidelines, so that's a big pity there for Reynolds.
Yeah, really unfortunate. They had some teething issues throughout the entire practice and qualifying session. We were holding thumbs for race 1 over here, but it really hasn't gone to plan.
Well, as they head to where everything happened, we're about to see some more action down into that corner.
Look at the defensive maneuvers going down that straight. That's Neck falling back, so I think something's wrong with that car.
He's got a massive problem. 3 cars into one corner, and that's Gary Martins on the diesel trying to squeeze through there. As they come out of that one, I believe Paul might have a little replay for us of exactly what went wrong. Yeah, you can see he went up the inside, tried to find a way through there, and I think it was on Fedetto he was having a look on the inside of, and couldn't quite make it stick. As you said, possibly cold brakes, cold tyres, not enough grip into an almost 45-degree left-hander there.
It's great awareness from Fedetto in that M4. If he had turned in a little bit early, expected both of them to make the corner, that could have been an ugly accident.
Very lucky to survive that one. The German is back on track though, trying to close things down. Curvin air conditioner's car, putting the pressure onto the back end now of Gary Martin. So Everstein in the mix there, trying to find a way to the front end. Not quite on the pace just yet.
Looking very
Andre van Vuren actually. Andre van Vuren is in the Curvin car, beg your pardon. So he's onto the back end of Martins, and he's made a way through and got ahead of Jan Everstein. So a bit of chopping and changing.
Big drama in Class B there. So we've got Nick Macris, who was poised to take the class lead now, but he's also falling back with what seems to be a mechanical, probably a power issue. So that's going to leave Class B, I believe, open to Renier Smith.
Smith leads our Class B. Baccioni in second and Nick Macris in third. going to drop by the wayside, probably all the way down to about 6th or 7th place now, as we saw him being overtaken down into that left-hander at the bottom of the short straight. So a little bit of problems there for Nick Backless. You can see him dropping down through the field there. He's already down and almost off the 16 cars we got on the timing monitor on the left-hand side.
Class C leader's got some work to do. Gary sitting behind both Benny Late and Hein van der Merwe, and also Reinhard Miller, who now leads out Class C.
And he's basically stayed there. He stayed out of trouble. So once the pack got split slightly by the off-track excursion, I think early on, there is Miller, speaking of the Amtech car, onto the short straight. Look at him, he's got a great advantage.
Running a neat race over there, so he's not going to see any pressure from Hein van der Merwe at the moment. A little bit of dust being kicked off there. Guys are really putting some pace through there. We see Andreas the German getting past some of the Class C competitors now. I wonder if he's going to put back point scoring positions in Class B.
That's what he's hoping. That's what he was hoping to do the last time they went down there where he got it all wrong. Didn't quite get up on the 373 there of Andre van Vuuren, but Van Vuuren saw him coming, and of course he doesn't have to give way to him. It's every man for himself out on track, even though you are fighting for different classes. It's up to the Foster car to find a way through on the slower cars, and if that slower car is not as slow as you thought it was going to be, it's going to make your life a little more difficult, which is going to hurt the chances of the German staying in contention for that top spot in Class B.
That's right. There's no hard feelings or respect or privilege given to when you're in track position. So he's going to have to make his way past all of those competitors one by one, and every single one of them is going to be a fair battle.
Nike just set an incredible lap, 158.231. If you look at what he did in qualifying, he did a 156.8. So he's fastest on track at the moment in Class A. Fastest on track at the moment in Class B is Renier doing a 2:03. That's the massive differential there between Class A and Class B. But more importantly is, look at Leon Loubser. Loubser is putting huge pressure onto the back end of Bob Neal. Bob Neal's soaking it up in that Lee Thompson Racing Prep BMW. And I can tell you, I was about to say Lee Thompson has put such amazing effort into that car. And whether or not Bob Neal is going to be able to hang on over Leon Loubser, we'll have to wait and see. Loubser, remember, is trying to make up for lost ground. He wasn't at Kyalami.
A great pace we're seeing on his Class A competitors, and this looks like it's going to be a move from Leon down the inside. Who's going to have the power to get into that corner and make up the spot? Looks like Bob's holding him off for now. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. It looks like Ryan's made up a lot of space, giving himself a really comfortable gap right now. But like we've seen, it's not open.
100%. Another important factor there, of course, is Neil fighting with Leon. They're going to slow each other down slightly. So that's a little bit of advantage, and you might just see them come through the foreground of the shot there. There they go. That's the gap. So he's out of the dog boat, heading into the right-hander, uphill right-hander, off camber, and that's probably at least 4 or 5 seconds up the road.
Interested to see what the lap times are going to look like right now. The past lap we saw basically 1 second split in the Class A competitors, doing 59s around this track. Guys, this is incredible pace from these cars right now, and to see the gap that has been made up by Ryan Nyker in that E92 is incredible. So let's see what kind of lap times we see from the duel that's happening between Bob and Neil.
If you can get under 2 minutes around Red Star, then you know you can drive a race car. I can tell you that much.
Well, penny.
Absolutely important. You know that the bikers sort of try to get into sort of the low 1-minute 50s if they can. So on a four-wheel machine, slightly heavier machinery that you're playing in, getting under that elusive 2-minute bracket is an incredible driving and a great effort. Speaking of good driving and great effort, look at the effort being put in here by the 33 of Everstein. Jan Everstein is closed up dramatically on the back end of Van Vuuren, and the Corvette car is under a lot more pressure. The German has been able to get through on both of them, and he's now got his sights set on Gary Martins.
Everstein's got some great pace. He's been practicing on Wednesday, and the car's been looking absolutely hooked up, and he's been driving really well. Setting the pace, however, in practice and qualifying, completely different to race situation. So, fighting against the turbo cars right now, he's really going to have his work cut out for him.
Amazing to think that a week ago, I was about to say, I'm getting with the commentator's curse there. Sorry, Gary. I was going to say, a week ago, that car was being slung up the hill at Neisner and did an amazing job to be in the mix in his class. I finished up on the podium there as well, the only diesel-powered car. But needless to say, he's doing so well. But the pressure came from the German, and he unfortunately flinched slightly.
A lot of grass being built up into that front grille of the Grease Monkey Motor Garage M2 diesel over there. I'm hoping that's not going to impact cooling too much. And we see Jan again looking at any opportunity to get past that E90 turbocharged race car.
So fantastic run here from all these cars, and as they get into
Is that
it,
the Amtech car slowing down?
it is. It's Renier Smith slowing down. The leader of Class B has pulled to the left-hand side.
That's Miller.
Is it Miller?
Miller in the blue car.
Beg your pardon, it's Miller. I was looking at the wrong class there. My bad.
He was leading our Class C.
Class C, yeah. Class C's leader, Reinhard Miller. The Amtech car there, Reinhard Miller now handing the opportunity to Hein van der Merwe to take the lead. Benny Late, and now Gary Martin's gifted third place without having to do too much work on the circuit.
The story's been turned upside down today. We've had our Class B championship leader and our Class...
Alright, so I was in first place by quite a freaking margin. Doing good, was hopeful, and then some hot connection ended it for me. Turbo cars, eh? This has nothing to do with the turbo, but just haven't had luck yet. We'll see next race.
Charge bike, keeping that boost in. So he was running a naturally aspirated car at the front of Class B, so that would be hugely down in power.
It's about 17 rand that.
And then obviously with the 17 rand at least.
Yeah.
So it's getting really expensive for racing.
Yeah, no, this is an expensive race day here this weekend.
And then Andreas confirmed, with that off on lap 1, unfortunately the crew was off the
grass. And 2 laps later, the glass has not been able to get away because of the pace you're running all the time. You're going to have problems.
I see the Amtech.
I saw, yeah. Miller with a problem.
I suspect that the repair hasn't gone well as a guess. It looks like we suffered another failure due to that electrical gremlin, so that's sad to see.
The Amtech car out. Also return of the man who was king initially in the start of race number 1. And let's see what Ryan Naka can do from a little bit further back.
Okay, so this time around, it's got power still, but no fuel pump. Surge tank pump, so the high pressure pump is working, but the low pressure pump in the tank, it's dead. So I think that was probably the cause of the main fuse popping in the beginning. So yeah, at least I've got a good view of the race. I think it's a VIP view, so at least one positive to take away from this. But we'll have it fixed and ready for the next one.